And don't forget, we take the trip.
What? What? I was going to say so you don't have to.
So you don't have to. Hello everyone, the Aouads are back, and if you're new here, welcome. We recently just spent 4 wonderful days in Mexico City, and we took a hot air balloon ride near Teotihuacan. We want to share with you what you can expect based on our experience planning it and going on this awesome experience.
You're gonna have FOMO if you skip this, so make sure you add this to your itinerary.
Also, we do these videos without any sponsorship so we can be as real as possible. But if you do want to try to support us, you can check out our Patreon in the link below. And then we also have the travel guide for the trips that we take. And so it takes the planning away from you.
Now, this is a little bit outside of the city, but as long as your schedule allows, we completely recommend doing this.
And the reason why we're saying if you have enough time is because the distance outside of Mexico City means round trip, it's gonna take you 2 to 3 hours. If traffic is bad too, that's gonna take even longer. Okay, number 2, you have to get tickets, right? There are plenty of places that offer hot air balloon tours. We ended up going with Sky Balloons Mexico. They have plenty of options for solo travelers, couples who just want a romantic hot air balloon ride, and group packages. Pro tip, if you use the English version of the website, you're gonna get hit with that tourist tax. When we were on the Spanish version of the site, we noticed a difference in the price when you convert from pesos to dollars. The difference ended up being almost about $50 per person. My sister ended up getting on WhatsApp. They have a WhatsApp number on their website right after I made the purchase, and it took a couple of tries too with my credit card because the credit card company was trying to block it. They weren't sure if it was a transaction, so make sure that you have access to your cellular data or however your verification method is. Make sure you have access to that because they will ask you if this is a valid transaction. When she got on WhatsApp with them, she said, hey, I want to confirm that this package is available, and they actually responded that it wasn't, and then her response back was, well, I hope it is because we just bought it. And then they responded back, they were like, oh yes, you're confirmed, we'll see you tomorrow. So basically what I'm saying is I don't recommend doing what we did and trying to purchase and plan this whole thing the day before. Give yourself a little bit of time to make sure that you can get everything in order.
Number 3, let's talk about how you're gonna get there. It's probably gonna take you like an hour from Mexico City to get to where all the hot air balloons launch, depending on which vendor it is, depending where you're staying in the city. For us, that meant leaving at 5:15 in the morning. We decided to schedule our Uber in advance so that it would be waiting for us, and we highly recommend doing that, especially if you have a big group, because we needed an Uber XL.
Remy has decided to join us. Remy is out here.
So if you hear purring in the background, it's just little Remy.
All right, fourth thing. Checking in. So if you get there at 6, the line's gonna be pretty short. They just ask you for your confirmation number, and so I recommend taking a screenshot of the confirmation if you are at a hotel, Airbnb, somewhere where you have Wi-Fi, so that you just have the picture of it to show them. Then they check everybody in who's in your party. All they ask for is a name, an email address, and a phone number, and then they give you a buzzer. Hold on to that buzzer. That's what they collect when it's time to go in the air and they start calling everybody.
And don't put it in your pocket because it might not pick up the signal.
You can't take like large bags on the hot air balloon, but they do have lockers there, and they're the self-code locks where you put your own code in there. And so right when you get there, go ahead and grab one of those because after like 15 or 20 minutes, everybody was trying to get them after they checked in. I ended up putting my camera gear in there, a lot of stuff in there because we were going to Teotihuacan right afterwards. And so I had some more videography equipment that we were going to be using. And then once you've checked in, downstairs, they actually have like pastries, they have coffee, they have drinks. Remember, you're going to be in the air for a while and there's nowhere to use the restroom, so don't get too crazy on the liquids. When we finished checking in and we got ready to go downstairs, we saw like a ton of people showing up and the line was just super long. And so what took us maybe 2 to 3 minutes to check in would have ended up being like 20 to 30 minutes. So if you get there at 6, you're good. If you get there at like 6:30, just anticipate waiting for a minute in line, and then you won't be able to necessarily go downstairs and get what you might want from the breakfast place.
Number 5, the flight. The flight was amazing. This was a once-in-a-lifetime experience for sure. Make sure you get lots of photos and videos. Don't be shy. Ask people to take pictures of your group. These are memories in the making. Also, we highly recommend purchasing the drone footage add-on. It was only like $35, and now we have this really cool video of all of us on a hot air balloon.
It wasn't until we were mid-flight and I saw the drone flying around, I was like, I think we bought that. Yes, I'm pretty sure we bought that when we purchased our tickets. So pro tip right there, listen to her, get the drone package.
The operator on our ride hit like some 360 spins, so you'll get some very cool panoramic views and videos. So definitely document everything so you'll have it for your future self to look back on, but then just take a moment to step back and just be in the present moment.
On the way down, you may have 2 landings, so you get a little bit of extra spice on your hot air balloon ride. We ended up landing in like this random construction zone, and it was blocked in by a gate. So our operator, he hops out and he's trying to get them. He's like, hey, let the trucks come in so that we can get the balloons. And they were not having any part of it. So he was like, well, hot air balloon ride part 2. So we got to go back in the air for like another 5, maybe 10 minutes. And we landed close to where we saw a lot of other people landing. So if you have a second landing, don't be freaked out. They're just trying to make sure that they can get down while the winds are good and in like an appropriate landing space that the trucks can come get you and take you back to site. Number 6, food. You're probably hungry at this point. You've been up since like 4:30 in the morning. We went to check out the food that they had upstairs. It's on the 3rd floor of the Sky Balloons Mexico place. And like, it looked okay. And I think it was like $8 a person maybe to go do like a breakfast buffet, but you do have other options.
You can hop in an Uber. It'll be like a 5 to 10 minute ride, and there's a ton of restaurant options. We went to a place called La Gruta, which we highly recommend.
We may do a video about it in the future, but long story short, we got to eat lunch in an actual cave and it was delicious. The coffee was delicious, the food was delicious, the vibe was amazing.
Usually like touristy kind of places, it seems like the food isn't as good, but even though this was like a very unique setting, the food was incredible. It was the best chilaquiles I have ever had.
Number 7, go check out Teotihuacan. You're already this far out, so you might as well go. I'm not really like into a lot of that type of stuff when it's like, oh, here's an old thing that used to be here. I'm much more like, oh, here's the present and here's the future. And I had a blast. I thought it was super cool. We got a tour guide, just super insightful. And I'm definitely glad that we went.
Number 8, time to head back to Mexico City. If you can, try to avoid going back during rush hour. It ended up taking us an hour and a half or more to get back to Mexico City because it was so trafficy. So yeah, if you can time things so that you're not traveling during rush hour, definitely try to do that.
Also, if you're going during rush hour, it was so hard to find an Uber. We couldn't find an Uber XL. You're not gonna find them around that area. But what we ended up doing was we had each person, we were in a group of 5, and so we had to call 2 separate ones and drive back that way. And I think each one took maybe like 12 to 15 minutes to get there, so it's not like when you're in the city and it's instantaneous and they just show up. That's it. We hope all these tips help get your activity planned and that you have a blast. Don't forget to subscribe. We are working towards 1,000 subscribers. I think right now we're just at 400. So hit that like, hit that subscription bell, and you'll get notified whenever we go on a new trip or upload a video like this. And like we mentioned, we were in Mexico City for 4 days. We put together a travel guide. It's in the description. If you want to have some easy travel planning, you can go ahead and buy that. It helps support us and helps keep this sponsor free. And don't forget, we take the trip
So you can decide whether or not you want to. Bye!